Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, we are from Group 6 and now we are going to present about our Institute of Finance and Markets assignment is about leverage and stock valuation. But before that, let us introduce ourselves first. My name is Hasna Nabila Palgunadi.
My name is Aula Fifadani Roshid.
My name is Filia Ramadan.
My name is Umar Salamus Tumorang.
Next. So we are going to present about services sector companies. First is Bukalapak Tbk, Global Digital Niaga Tbk, PFI Finance Indonesia, and Matahari Department Store Tbk. Next. First is Bukalapak, PT Bukalapak.com that will be presented by my friend Aulafi.
So here I will be presenting about Bukalapak. As we can see, there are several financial reports for the years 2022 and 2023, including sales, variable cost, EBIT, and interest. Next, in the Buka leverage for 2023, we obtained a result of the total of Buka degree of operating leverage is mean 0.398. The total of Buka DFL is 0.996. The total of Buka DCL is mean 0.397. Next, and in the Buka leverage for 2022, we obtained a result of the total of DOL is 0.0134. The total of Buka DFL is 1.0031. The total of Buka DCL is 0.0134. Moving on the Buka growth and forecast, we see a growth of 22.67% and a forecast of 5.4 billion. Then for Buka valuation, we obtained an equity value of 13.3 billion and valuation per share of 129.21 rupiah. Next is management evaluation of Buka. Under the leadership of Wilik Salim, demonstrates of commitment to digital transformation and business efficiency. The company has management with diverse backgrounds, a clean legal track record, and an ownership structure that reflects support from the MTech and public investors. Information transparency is maintained through disclosure to the public and IDX. In early 2025, Bukalapak restructured in its business by ceasing sales of physical products and focusing on virtual service to improve operational efficiency and profitability. Buka shares have a special E notation in IDX, indicating certain condition that investor needs to pay attention to. Next, I will now pass into my friend Videla to continue the presentation.
Next, Beli have a sales variable cost, EBIT, interest in 2023 and 2022. Next. Beli leverage in 2023 has a total DOL is 0.6, DFL, the total of DFL is 1.03, the total of DCL is 0.61. Next. Beli leverage in 2022, the total DOL is minus 5.6. The total DFL is 1.05. The total DCL is minus 5.88. Next. Growth have the total minus 3.6%, and the forecast have a total 40 million and so. Next. Beli valuation, the most suitable method is price to sell multiple because Beli is a technology company with a net loss and has not yet generated dividend and only put a few years ago. The equity have a total 37 million and so, and the stock valuation have a total 49.3. Next. Management evaluation of Beli is an omni-channel e-commerce company led by CEO Kusuma Martanto with financial backing from Robert and Mikhail Hartanto through PT Global Investama. 83.68% ownership. The company has a clean legal track record and high information transparency. Major corporate action include the acquisition of Dekuroma for 1.16 trillion, 2.25 trillion private placement, and expansion into Malaysia. Beli shares have no special notation from the IDX, reflecting regulator compliance. Next. Next, PT Matahari will be present by my friend is Hasna Nabila.
Okay. Next. So here's the LPPF sales, variable cost, EBIT, and interest in 2022 and 2023. Next. LPPF leverage in 2023, the total of DOL is 3.01. LPPF degree of financial leverage is 1.32, and the total of DCL is 3.97. Next. Next is LPPF leverage in 2022. The total of DOL is 2.76. The total of DFL is 1.16, and the total of DCL is 3.20. Next. So this is the LPPF growth and forecast. The growth rate of LPPF is 1.30%, and the forecast sales is 13 trillion and so. Next. Next is LPPF valuation. The suitable valuation method for LPPF is discounted cash flow or DCF because LPPF has positive free cash flow. Its business is well established and growth is stable. First is LPPF equity value is 1.8 million rupiah, and stock valuation per share is 7.392 rupiah. Next. Management evaluation of LPPF. LPPF is a retail company focused on department stores with majority ownership by Aurik Digital Retail Pta. Ltd. since 2021. The company has a clean legal track record and high transparency in financial reporting and business strategy. LPPF also active in corporate actions, including dividend distribution of 200 rupiah per share in 2023 and share buybacks worth 8,027.38 rupiah billion in 2022 till 2023 to increase share value and capital efficiency. To date, LPPF has no special notation from IDX reflecting company reflecting compliance with capital market regulations. Next is PT BFI Finance Indonesia Tbk that will be present with my friends. Go class.
Okay, here I will present about PT BFI Finance Indonesia Tbk or BFIN. BFIN is of the biggest finance companies in Indonesia, and I will explain its financial performance, leverage, and stock valuation. Let's start with the financial data. In 2022, BFIN had sales of around 5.2 trillion rupiah. In 2023, sales increased to around 6.1 trillion rupiah. The variable cost also went up from around 991 billion to 1.7 trillion rupiah. Even though sales went up, the profit before interest and tax, or EBIT, went down from 2.2 trillion to around 2.0 trillion rupiah. Their interest expense also increased from 624 billion to 951 billion rupiah. Next, we look at leverage. In 2022, the degree of operating leverage was 1.9 and the degree of financial leverage was 1.3. So the combined leverage was around 2.6. Next. In 2023, the operating leverage increased to 2.1 and the financial leverage also increased to 1.8. This made the combined leverage go up to 4.1. This means BFIN became more sensitive to change in sales and profit. Now let's go to the valuation. We use the discounted cash flow for method because BFIN has positive cash flow and stable growth. We use tax rate of 18.3%, discounted rate of 12%, and terminal growth of 3%. Next. We estimate cash flow for 5 years from 2024 to 2028, with EBIT going down by 5% per year. From this calculation, the total company value or enterprise value is around 13.4 trillion rupiah. With about 399 million shares, the estimate value per shares is around 33,620 rupiah. Next. 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 Lastly, for the management part, BFIN is led by Mr. Sujono, who focus on digital innovation and efficiency. The company has a good legal track record and follow good governance rules. It's also transparent reporting. In 2023, BFIN issued bond worth 1.1 trillion rupiah and plans to pay back 227 billion rupiah in 2025. There is no special mark on the stock in IDX, which means BFIN follow all capital market rules. The next part is the comparison between the companies and the final conclusion. Thank you for listening.
Okay, next is the final comparison. PT BFI Finance Indonesia Tbk or BFIN emerges as the best overall company due to its strong financial and operational performance. It maintains balance and well-managed leverage, consistent free cash flow, and low financial risk. Additionally, BFIN appears undervalued based on the discounted cash flow method and indicating strong upside potential. These strengths make BFIN a compelling long-term investment with solid stability and growth prospect. Next is conclusion. Is that leverage and stock valuation are key factors in evaluating companies in Indonesia's service sector. Among the firms studied, PT BFI Finance Indonesia stands out due to its balanced leverage, strong free cash flow, and undervaluation based on the DCF method. These strengths make BFIN the most attractive investment, offering solid long-term stability and growth potential. Okay, I think that's all from Group 6. We sincerely appreciate for your time and attention. We're sorry if there's any mistake. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.